So you're having trouble with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 battle system, huh? Well, you're coming to the right place. So, that being said, let's get into it. So hopefully the goal is, after you watch this video, you'll be doing damage, a little something like this.
Drive you into the ground! Genesis, no! Harder than that! Annihilation now! This is the culmination of years of training.
Okay, so as you can see, you can definitely do crazy amounts of damage in this game, as long as you know what you're doing. Now, the game definitely doesn't tell you that well about what you need to do to make this happen. Kind of gives you a very brief explanation. Don't really give you a chance to actually try it out or test it out as other games do, and it sends you on your way. So hopefully after you watch this, I'm going to take it all the way from the bare basics of the battle system all the way to the more advanced, more complicated things that'll get you damaged like you just saw. Okay, so first up is auto attack. Now, auto attack, as the name implies, pretty much automatically attacks as long as you're within range of the enemy. For pretty much, they are your normal attacks in other RPG games. So instead of you having to actually go in, select attack, and select maybe your weapon or just normal attack or whatever it is, these happen as long as you're within range. Now, most of the videos I show as explanations or guides are going to focus around Pyra and her using the Aegis sword. Now, auto attacks happen in 3 stages. So the first stage is pretty much a light attack. The second stage would be a medium, with the third stage being more of a bigger damage, like last heavy attack. With the Aegis sword, it's pretty easy to tell which stage you're in because each stage is only one attack. Now, when you use other weapons, whether they're ether cannons or whether they're sights or there's a lot of different weapons in this game. Sometimes it may look like you are attacking multiple times and maybe in multiple stages, but no, you're actually in that one stage and it may just hit a few times. So here's a video showing me breaking down the 3 stages using the Aegis weapon. That was stage 1. Now that's stage 2. And finally, stage 3. So now that we know what auto attacks are, now let's talk about what they do. Well, besides damage. Auto attacks, they actually charge up the next topic, which is driver arts. Driver arts are special attacks that your driver can use, which also may have some side effects on them, like spawn a potion. They could be area of effect attacks, or they could do increased damage whether you're attacking from the back, the side, or the front. So let's delve into driver arts. Okay, so first off, your driver arts are located here, here, and here. Now, you may not have as many as I do on screen, but as you progress your character, you'll be able to equip more. As you can see, the name of the attack is stated here, and the secondary effect of the attack is stated here. So now that you know what driver arts are, we can talk about when to use them and why. But in order to do that, we have to bring up our next topic, which is auto cancel. Now, auto cancel, kind of pretty much as the name implies, is the canceling of the auto attack. Now, driver arts can be used at any time once they're charged up and available. But if you use a driver art at the end of one of the stages of the auto attack, then it increases the damage of that driver art. For instance, if you use it at the end of stage 1 when the attack hits and use a driver art, then you get a boost to that driver art's damage. The best case scenario is always to use it at the end of stage 3, but you don't have to, and it depends on how fast you want to use the driver arts. I usually like to wait to the end of stage 3. Now you know when you've performed a successful auto cancel because you'll see a blue ring appear around the character. Now, as you progress further through the game, you'll eventually be able to auto cancel a driver art with another driver art and chain them together. You can do these up to 3 times depending on how far along your character is. Okay, so now that we've learned about the driver arts and the auto cancels, we can start talking about the 4th slot, which is for your blade arts. Now your blade arts are special attacks that your blade can perform. As you use your driver arts, you'll notice that this 4th slot starts to have a charge bar increase around it, and it can charge up to 4 levels, each level of course being stronger than the last. Now to charge it up to level 1, you just use driver arts. To get it to charge to level 2, you have to make sure you store level 1, not use it, and just keep using driver arts, and you'll get to level 2 and 3 respectively. Now if you want to get to level 4, this is where your affinity bond comes into play. This blue line right here that is usually, well, blue, as you keep battling, your affinity with your blade will grow and it'll turn gold. Once it turns this gold color, then you'll notice that your level 3 blade art special will start to charge, and it will charge up to level 4. And then you can use your most powerful blade special if you want to. Now note, there are some blades that have certain criteria to use their level 4. If you've gotten far enough in the story, you know what I'm hinting at. And you have to sometimes be outside or something like that in order to use their 4th and final special. Okay, now that we've discussed auto attacks, blade attacks, driver attacks, and auto cancel, I can pretty much say that we've covered the basics for the battle system in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This is usually where most people can get to without much problem. Now we're going to get more into the intermediate stuff when it comes to the battle system, which is going to be our driver combos and our blade combos. This is where I wouldn't say most, but probably a good handful of people will start to experience problems with the battle system and not really understand what it's asking you to do, because like I said earlier, I don't believe it does a great job in actually explaining what to do. Okay, so first off, driver combos. Now, here's a chart that shows you how you should perform a driver combo from start to finish. First, you start with break, and then you apply topple, and then you apply launch, and then lastly you apply smash to finish off the driver combo. So you can see along the top, we have a column for each character that you'll control in the game, and in the rows beneath them shows which blade you'll need to have engaged that uses the respective weapon to use the respective driver combo on the left side. As you can see, that's quite a lot of different blades with different weapons to have equipped. So that's why we have 3 equipped on each character. Now you may not have that from the start, but as you progress in the game, each character will be able to engage three blades at one time. So it's a good idea to make sure that all of the drivers that you actually have participating in battle has at least 1 blade that has each one of these stages of the driver combo. That way you can really do some real damage. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at a driver combo from start to finish. So you can see here that stage 1 of the driver combo, break, has been applied by one of the other 2 drivers. Now there's a bar inside of there that's the cooldown bar, and when that bar gets to the end, then the status is over. So you want to use the next stage, which will be topple, to advance the driver combo to stage 2. So you'll notice that our anchor shot driver art not only has a HP potion drop as a sub effect, it also applies stage 2 topple in the driver combo. So now we just have to use it. Now that we use anchor shot, you can see that we've engaged stage 2 of the driver combo, which is topple. Now once you engage the next stage, it will renew the cooldown bar back to where it starts from. Now after applying topple, the next stage is going to be launch, which is stage 3. Now you have 2 options. Either you can have launch equipped on one of the other 2 drivers, or you can have it equipped on another blade that you have engaged. In this instance, we're going to switch to Xenoblade and go ahead and apply the 3rd stage, which is launch, and then finish it up by switching to rock and applying the 4th stage, which is smash. Okay, so now you can see we've used the power swipe driver art to apply the 3rd stage of the driver combo, which is launch. Now the only thing left to do is switch to rock and use the driver art that will apply smash, the fourth and final stage of the driver combo. Okay, so now we use wing smash driver art, which will apply the fourth and final stage, smash, to the driver combo. After applying smash, you'll notice that the bar completely goes away because now you've reset the driver combo and it's over. So you'll have to apply it all the way from stage 1 to 4 again to complete another driver combo. So now that I've broken down each stage of the driver combo for you, now let's see it live in action all the way from stages 1 to the final stage with the smash. Alright, so that successfully wraps up the driver combo all the way from stages 1 to the final stage of 4. Now we can move on to the next topic, which is going to be blade combos. Blade combos are, I wouldn't say more difficult to pull off than a driver combo. Actually, it's easier. But the blade combos have a little bit more on the back end of them that puts a little extra, not really difficulty, but extra thinking involved into determining what kind of blade combo you want to do and why, and depending on the situation, of course. Okay, so glancing back to where we talked about the blade arts and the different levels, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, those actually correspond with the blade combo. So there's only 3 stages to a blade combo. The first is the initial stage, the start. The second, of course, second stage. And the third and final stage is where it wraps up. So there's no 4th stage to a blade combo. Now, the difference between a driver combo and a blade combo is that a driver combo always goes from break to smash. Now, a blade combo is elemental based. So you'll see different paths up at the top right hand corner that you need to follow in order to get to the final stage 3 of the blade combo. Now, this is where it kind of gets tricky for some people. So basically, to start off, you can start a blade combo with any element of blade as long as you have a level 1 special or one of your partner drivers have a level 1 special. You can start with any element. Now, once you begin the blade combo in stage 1, you'll see the next tier, which will be basically 2 other paths that you can take. Now, in order to engage those paths, you have to have a blade either equipped on your driver or one of your partner drivers that matches one of those 2 elements, and they also have to have a level 2 blade art saved up to use to engage stage 2 of the blade combo. And the same thing for stage 3. You have to have a blade engaged on either yourself or one of your fellow drivers that has either of the corresponding elements, and also save up to a level 3 blade art to finish off the blade combo. Now, I know all that is kind of hard to take in, especially just listening to me say it. So let's go ahead and get into the visuals so that we can break this down. So you can see that Morag actually got her level 1 blade art first. So we'll be able to start off the blade combo by using heat, which is the fire element. So as you can see, we've officially started stage 1 of the blade combo. Now you can notice that at the top right hand corner you also have a cooldown bar for heat, which is the move we use to initiate the first level of the blade combo. And that bar also will cool down just like a driver art combo, and you have until that bar cools down to perform the next stage of the blade combo, which will be used with a level 2 special of either the fire or water elements. In this case, you can see we're almost at level 2 special for the blade art for ourselves. So instead of having Mithra out, we'll go ahead and switch over to Pyro, which is fire, so that we can advance in the blade combo to stage 2.
Why not? Try to keep it up.
Okay, so now you can see we have our level 2 blade art, Burnout. So we can go ahead and use that, and you'll see that on the top right hand corner we'll advance to the stage 2 layer of the blade combo but we'll be on the fire path, which means that to activate the blade combo stage 3, we'll either need a blade with fire or light. Luckily, we have both Pyra, Mithra, and also Morag's fire blade, so we should have more than enough to suffice. Alright, so now we're on stage 2 of the blade combo, and as you can see, the next two are of course fire and light. So now if you look over here on Morag, you'll notice that she has these two glowing circle balls floating around her head. That means that she's currently on level 2 of her blade art. So this will come in handy when the cooldown meter is starting to get to the end, and maybe you have both Morag and your other partner driver on opposite sides of the screen, both able to advance the blade combo, but maybe the cooldown is almost done. So you see Morag has a level 2 blade art, and maybe Nia has a blade level 1 art. So you don't want to wait on Nia. You would know that Morag is closer, so you would pay more attention to her side of the screen.
Double spinning and halo, anchor shot. Let us make use of it now.
Blaze!
Rolling smash.
Okay, so now you can see that Morag finally has her level 3 blade art special, so we can go ahead and perform the mega explosion and finish out this blade combo.
Give them a moment's rest.
Gotcha.
Ready to meet your maker.
Blade combo, third stage. Awesome.
We'll make your dreams a reality. I'm gonna show you how to show.
Okay, so we just finished our first blade combo all the way from stage 1 to stage 3. Now, you may be wondering, why do I want to do blade combos? Obviously, besides doing a bunch of damage. Now, back when I spoke about blade combos being a little bit more intricate than the driver art combos, is because blade art combos, when they finish, they apply a seal to the enemy. Now, if you look back on the first part, you can see all the different seals you could possibly apply based on the starting blade combo element. Also, here's a quick chart put up. That way you can see all the different seals that you could possibly perform by going through the blade combo from start to finish. Of course, I'll explain these so that you know exactly what each seal does. Now, not only do the seals actually seal off moves by the enemies, it also applies a orb to the enemy that surrounds him. And you can see the orb right here. Now, this orb can stack with other different elemental orbs, which means that if you apply a fire orb, that orb will circle the enemy until you either reapply a fire orb, which will just reapply the same seal and the same orb, or you can stack it by applying another orb of a different element, whether it's water, dark, ice, wind, light. You get the picture. They all do different seals, so they all take different attacks and different abilities away from the enemy. And so let's go ahead and get into that. So you can see over on the elemental combos section all the different paths you can take to get to whatever seal you want to get to. And over on the seal side, you can see all the different seals possible to be applied to an enemy, as well as the various paths underneath them to get to said seal. Now, to start off, for the self-destruct seal, there's some enemies that when their health gets low, they want to self-destruct. So if that's an issue for you, you can apply a fire seal, which will seal the move self-destruct on that enemy. Now, he won't be able to use self-destruct unless you break that orb, and we'll talk about breaking orbs later on. Stench is something that an enemy will apply to you that makes your blade run away from you, which means that it will mess up your affinity bond, which slows down how fast your driver arts build and your blade arts build. Shackle driver pretty much puts a barrier around your driver so that you can't use driver arts until it goes away. Back attack, of course, is the enemy being able to perform a back attack on you, which will do extra damage. Shackle blade is just like shackle driver, except for instead of shackling the driver, it stops you from being able to do your blade arts until, of course, it goes away. Blowdown is pretty much like a knockdown attack. It knocks your driver off his feet, pretty much interrupts everything you're doing. Affinity down is kind of similar to Stench. It has the same goal, except for affinity down will automatically lower your affinity, which will pretty much mess up, of course, how fast you're building combos and blade arts. And also, finally, is reinforcements. So if you're dealing with an enemy that loves to call in other lesser enemies to the battle, of course, you can use this seal and he won't be able to call in any more reinforcements. Now, I know I just brought up breaking orbs, and you're probably wondering, like, okay, well, what we're doing with breaking orbs? But before I get to that, I want to talk about fusion combos. I'm not going to delve as deep into fusion combos as I've done for blade combos and driver combos, pretty much because a fusion combo is doing a driver combo and a blade combo at the same time. So since I've already shown you how to do both of those, it's pretty self-explanatory how you can go about doing a fusion combo. But I will leave you with this one tip. In my experience, it's always easier if you start the driver combo before you start the blade combo, which means basically you're saving up your blade's art specials until you get to maybe level 2 or 3, and then you want to initiate a driver art combo. Now, you don't want to finish the driver combo because obviously if you go all the way to smash, then you've ended the driver art combo. So the goal is usually to begin your blade combo when you're either at the topple or launch stage of your driver art. So you don't want to advance past either topple or launch, and you just want to let that cooldown bar pretty much just start ticking away as you're building up your blade combo, and hopefully you can get all the way through stage 3 of the blade combo, and it'll look something like this, and you'll get a lot of damage.
Why not? Double spin. No, I'm anchor shot.
Wish me luck.
Topple.
Try to keep it
Pyro.
up. Radiant.
No. Everyone's
Now back to breaking orbs. Now, breaking orbs is probably the best part of the game when it comes to doing damage. This is bar none the best way to do a ton of damage. And if you remember from the very beginning of this video, when I think I did like 2 or 3 million damage, that's what I did. It was pretty much doing a chain attack to where you break the orbs that you've already placed on that enemy. Now, just a little bit about the orbs. Fire and water beat each other. So in this game, there isn't like just one that's strong against one. No, if fire is strong against water, water is strong against fire. Electric strong against ground, ground strong against electric. Wind is strong against ice, ice strong against wind. Light is strong against dark, dark is strong against light. So yeah, when you're going to actually break the orbs, the good thing is that if, say you have a fire orb applied to the enemy and you use a water blade's attack during the chain attack, it automatically will target the fire orb. Now, if you have, say, a fire orb, a ground orb, and an ice orb applied to the enemy, and you attack with the dark blade, it's just going to randomly pick one of those orbs and do 1 point of damage to it. Now, to back up a little bit, each orb has 3 hit points worth of damage. If you use, say, an attack that's strong against that orb, like say if it was a fire orb again, and use a water blade, that blade will do 2 hit points worth of damage to that orb. And you can finish it off by doing another water or doing any other attack, as long as it equals up to 3 before the chain attack is over. Now, I know I've introduced chain attack and I'm talking about breaking orbs. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, visually how you go about applying these orbs, stacking them, and how you go about using the chain attack to pretty much destroy them. Because each time you destroy an orb, you get an extra round in the chain attack. So you get to go again. Each one of your 3 drivers gets to attack again. And hopefully you destroy another orb, which gives you another round, and another orb gives you another round. So that's the goal. The goal is to put at least 3 orbs on there, and I'll tell you why later. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, so you can see we have our first orb applied, which is fire. And here we've applied our second orb, which is a water orb. And here we've applied our third orb, which is a ground orb. And here we've applied the fourth and final orb, which is a dark orb. In this example, we're only applying 4 orbs, but you can also apply all 8 if that's what you want to do. Now that takes longer, and most of the time it's not possible just because the enemy usually dies before you're done. But on this one, we're doing 4. The reason for at least 4 is because it takes 4 orbs. Well, you have to destroy 4 orbs during chain attack in order to initiate the full burst, which is where you really get the damage at. Now, the next thing to pay attention to is before you can start the chain attack by pushing the plus or start sign on the Nintendo Switch, is you have to make sure these 3 bars up here are full. Once they're full, then you can go ahead and push start and start the chain attack. Okay, so now we've started the chain attack. Now you can see that we have those 4 orbs applied to the enemy. And you can see over on the right, those are the 3 blades that's currently engaged to Rex. So if possible, you want to pick one of the blades that has a strong effect against one of the seals or orbs that's on the enemy. Now also, you want to take heed to this bar up at the top left hand corner. That's your full burst bar. As you break orbs and do damage to orbs, you'll see that bar begin to fill up. Now once that bar fills up, which usually takes destroying 4 orbs, then you'll go into full burst mode and you'll be able to do a ton of damage.
Me first.
Star first.
Magnificent.
Okay, that attack hit all orbs for 1 damage.
Get him, Nia.
On it.
Let us settle this. Elemental burst.
So you can see that that water attack, of course, is strong against fire. So it automatically attacked the fire orb and did 2 hit points of damage, which equals 3 from the first attack, which go ahead and breaks the fire orb, which also gains us another round in the chain attack.
Bridget, Ardanian
Very well. Magnificent. Elemental burst.
Okay, so we used the fire blade and it automatically targeted the water orb for 2 damage, which equals 3 from the first attack, which is why it burst, which also gains us another round. Now after the first round is finished, you have to make sure you hit this quick time event to go into the next round, or else you won't.
Keep it up. Magnificent. Hit it. No.
Gotcha.
Mag.
So that attack hit the remaining 2 for 1 damage, which means 1 more hit and they're done.
Magnificent. Get him, Nia.
Here I come. I'm gonna do it properly.
Magnificent. Elemental.
Since wind wasn't strong against either dark or ground, it just randomly targeted one, and since each one was down to 1 hit point, it went on and broke dark, which gives us another round. Also take note of the full burst bar, it's almost complete.
Burst.
Morag, suck it
Burn my heart! Burn!
Elemental burst.
Okay, and since ice wasn't strong against anything left, randomly targeted, finished off ground, which burst our 4th orb. And if you take note, the full burst bar is already full, so we're ready to engage it. Now, unlike round extend, there's no quick time event to hit to initiate full burst. As soon as you break enough orbs, in this case 4, it'll go ahead and initiate itself.
Rolling smash! Go for it!
We'll drive you into the ground! Genesis Saber!
No! Harder than that!
Obliteration now! This is the culmination of years of training.
Stop.
I'm still getting strong.
Alright, so you finish the chain attack and you also finish with a full burst, which is pretty much perfect. That's the best you can ask for when it comes to doing damage in this game. Now, just one thing I want to say is, obviously, just because you apply these seals, that don't mean that you have to break them doing a chain attack in a full burst. Now, if you put these seals on them because you don't want them calling in reinforcements or doing affinity down or shackle driver, shackle blade, whatever, you can also use that as a strategy by just leaving those seals on just to make the fight easier for you. And then when his health starts to get a little lower and you know you can do a lot of damage by breaking all the seals and possibly finish him off, then you can go about doing the chain attack and also doing a full burst. Now, I know this video was long, but I wanted to make sure that I really did this justice because I really enjoyed Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It was the first time I actually ever played a Xenoblade game, and I must admit I did suffer through the battle system. I really didn't understand it at first, and when I started playing it, I kind of didn't like it at all. I thought it was really boring, mostly because I didn't know what I was doing. But after I got through that suffering and I really started to play more and more and more and get more used to the battle system and figuring it out, then it really opened my eyes to how great this battle system is and how fluid it is once you do learn it pretty much in and out. So for everybody out there who watched this, thank you. I hope it actually helps. Put a lot of time into it, so I really hope that it opens your eyes or just answers any questions that you might have had regarding this battle system. So with that being said, that's it, and thanks for watching.